The Winnipeg Jets are a team in transition. Despite making the playoffs last season, the offseason was filled with turmoil and an overturning of the roster. With uncertainty looming over this next season, there are a lot of fans wondering whether the Winnipeg Jets can make that trip back to the playoffs. Fans have questions as to the direction of this team, and I am among them. Winnipeg Jets, here's why I hate your stupid fucking team.
I never heard of half of these guys. The ones I do know are way past their prime.
Most of these guys never had a prime.
This guy here is dead.
Cross him off then.
The Jets' forward core has been almost completely rebuilt from this time last year. Pierre-Luc Dubois is gone, shipped off to the LA Kings for a pretty good ransom that included Gabriel Vilardi, who will probably figure to slot into their top six immediately. And he joins a core of forwards that is honestly very young and exciting. The oldest among them is Nino Niederreiter at 31, and Mark Scheifele at 30, who are both easily above average top 6 players. Cole Perfetti at 21 is coming off a 30-point season in 50 games last year. He could be somebody to watch for to take a huge step forward for this Jets team in 2023. And then rounding out that top 6, you have Kyle Connor and Nikolai Ehlers, who are both good for about 70 to 80 points and 30 goals apiece, health permitting. Alex Iafallo was also acquired in that Dubois trade. He'll slot right into that third line alongside Adam Lowry and Mason Appleton. It's a strong third line all the way across the board, as they're all able to chip in about 20 to 40 points and play defense and the PK pretty well. In the fourth line, you got a couple of kids in Morgan Barron and Rasmus Kapari, alongside Vladislav Hi, my name is Nemestikov. On defense, Josh Morrissey is finally getting some recognition for being an absolute stud in the back line, but he's getting paired up with Dylan DeMello, who is only slightly more effective as a defenseman than one of the D'Amelio sisters. In all honesty, he could get swapped out for either Brenda Dillon or Neil Pionk, who will make up a pretty solid second pairing of defensemen. And then the always affable Nate Schmidt will be paired with Dylan Sandberg, a 24-year-old up-and-coming defenseman on the third pairing. If nothing else, Schmidt's golden retriever-like infectiousness will rub off on the young Sandberg. In goal, though, that's where things are getting spicy. Connor Hellebuyck is one of the 5 best goalies in the NHL, a perpetual Vezina Trophy candidate, and has also made it very clear that he wants nothing to do with the Winnipeg Jets anymore. He's going to play out this last year of his contract and will not be back unless a miracle should happen and his heart grows 3 sizes. He's backed up by Laurent Bonsoir, who's coming off a pretty decent 22-23 season with the Golden Knights, so if the Jets do end up moving Hellebuyck, they at least have a viable option as a backup.
Anybody got an idea?
It's career sub-500 coach Rick Bowness returning for his second season behind the bench of Winnipeg after leading them to a first-round exit last year, but at least he did make the playoffs. Pictured here preparing to Hakalugi, Bowness was a coach of the Winnipeg Jets the first time they were here before they moved to Arizona back in 1989, and in the 35 years since then, he has won as many Stanley Cups as you, the viewer, and myself. As a head coach, his teams have only made the playoffs 4 times in his career and missed the playoff 9 times, including the years when he was fired mid-season. Bowness is, quite frankly, not a very good coach. He did an admirable job last year with Winnipeg, getting them into the playoffs. But if you're trusting him to elevate a young core of players like they seem to be in Winnipeg, I'm not so sure this is going to work out that well for you.
Who the hell are you?
I'm the new guy.
That Pierre-Luc Dubois trade was the biggest one of the offseason for the Jets, netting them a bunch of assets including Alex Iafallo, Gabriel Vilardi, Rasmus Kupari, and a second-round pick. It's a pretty good return considering the fact that LA was forced to pay him $8.5 million a year in one of the worst contracts signed this offseason. Getting 2 top 6 forwards and 3 top 9 forwards out of Pierre-Luc Dubois is a great haul. The pick is just a cherry on top. The Jets took Colby Barlow in the draft at pick number 18, which was very good value for them, but he'll probably end up spending this year down in the OHL again.
You gay Irish fireman, you're okay, but you I do not like.
Kyle Connor is just one of those players that I like for no really good reason. I just love the way he plays, his skating stride, his shot. It just looks so clean. But Mark Scheifele deserves to get a lot more back from this Jets franchise after what he has given them, especially some clutch playoff performances. The Jets really didn't change too much from the last season, and they may have not gotten better from that Pierre-Luc Dubois trade, but the determining factor as to whether they make it back into the playoffs this year or not is Connor Hellebuyck. If he stays for the whole year, I think it's definitely a possibility, but if he makes it clear he's not coming back and Winnipeg decides that they're going to trade him, that just means to me they're taking an L on this year and reloading for the next. I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing if you can get a good amount of value for Hellebuyck, but if your goal is to make the playoffs this year, you're going to need him in order to get there.